ready to place my patterns on my fabric to cut, having my sewing allowance. So now, I'm picking up the center front first. I can either have my center front cut on fold, or I had my sewing allowance so that I can have a panel line. So preferably I'm going to be having my sewing allowance there to have my panel line. Make sure when you are pinning down your patterns, be sure that they are well relaxed so you don't have any fold that is adding to your measurement underneath. So I'm going to be leaving a space. Because my sewing allowance is still coming in. Make sure that when you are placing this pattern piece, you are leaving room for where your sewing allowance can slot in. So you have to be careful, you are not just placing but considering your sewing allowance. Okay, so now that I have this, all my pattern piece placed on my fabric, well pinned, making sure that there is no fold and there's no excess added to the fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding my half inch all around my pattern piece, 1 inch at my side seams, and 1.5 inches all around the curve. Yes, so we're adding 1.5 inches all around the curve because we're going to be placing, by the time we cut it out, we're going to be placing it in order for it to cover up the cup itself. So when we are done with this, then we can now eventually trim it off back to have our normal sewing allowance. But for now, preferably you cut 1.5 all round, 1.5 all round. So now you need to pay attention to the edges of your pattern piece, making sure that you are cutting exactly the shape at which you have on your pattern. Don't change the shape. So in as much as you are trying to add your sewing allowance, you must still achieve the exact shape of what you have on your pattern piece. So don't forget your sewing allowance, 1/2 inch all round, 1 inch as your side seam. So now to my cup. Yeah, moving on. So you can see I'm done with adding my seam allowance on every part of the pattern piece, making sure that the same shape I have on the pattern is the same shape I'm still having on the fabric after cutting. You have to still maintain that shape. So this is for the front. And this is for the back. So the same thing we've done for this, which is the lining, we're going to be placing everything, all this pattern piece, on the doll face, on the fabric, and also on the estee to cut out. So yeah, we've come to the end of this module. Alright, so practice. Don't forget to subscribe. Here we are at AY Stitches Academy. Join us for the next module. Thank you.